right thing in your life, but it's really not. You just have to find something. People who beat masturbation and start to see improvement in their life, it's not because they got out of the grip of the devil. It's because they found something that needed them. They found something to focus on. They found something to build, something to serve, something to give that energy to, that attention, that analytical skills, that mental capability, that creative visualization. They found a place to apply themselves. That is what the creative energy is about. It's about finding where to apply yourself. It's really not God punishing you. It's not about God punishing you. Well, animals touch themselves too. I don't see thunder coming down from heaven to strike my dog. No, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be realistic here. For the number of times that I would wish to strike my dog if I were God, why is my dog having more fun than me? No, it's not right. It's really not right. Masturbation is not about morality, it's about energy. It's about direction, purpose. I know I'm repeating these things. I'm repeating it because it's important. That's why. Change how you see the energy, change how you see yourself, and you will be fine. Remember, if you struggle with masturbation, that is usually a sign that you're a highly creative individual, you're an overthinker, you're emotionally intense, and that's okay. You are easily overwhelmed. What that means is that you've got high creative energy. You are undervalued, underproductive. You feel like you're not doing enough in your life. You want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want to be needed. That's not sexual frustration, that's creative frustration. Rephrase that idea to think or to frame that masturbation is about sexual frustration. Masturbation is not about sexual frustration. It's about creative frustration. Men, especially as men, that pressure. Men, that pressure. Men. Masturbation is creative frustration, not sexual frustration. What you should be looking for, what you should be looking out for, is expression, love, service, validation. Really important. Validation, connection, and direction. This is what you should be looking for if you're struggling with masturbation. Look for outlets of expression in your life. Look for places where you can apply love to. You can either feel love or give love. Service, validation, connection, and direction. Because sex is not about bodies, it's about creation. It's crazy, isn't it? Sex is actually not about bodies. It's about creation. Sex is how life is made, and creativity is how meaning is made. Crazy, isn't it? That is why masturbation is creative frustration and not sexual frustration. Listen to this. Really listen to this. Because sex is about... Yeah, sorry about that. Someone interrupted my flow. So listen to this. Really listen to this. Sex is not about bodies. It's about creation. Sex is a metaphor for creative process. Sex is how life is made and how creativity finds meaning. That's basically what sex is. Sex is about how life is made and how creativity finds meaning. So maybe you don't really want to have sex with your neighbor, or maybe the last thing on your mind is to find yourself on Pornhub. Maybe that's the last thing on your mind. Maybe what you truly crave is freedom to express yourself fully, to be seen, to be heard in your life. That freedom to create, that freedom to give, that freedom to matter in your own life. It's really not about other people on the external validating you or seeing you or hearing you. It's about showing up in your own life and knowing that you are showing up in your own life. It's about seeing yourself and hearing yourself. It's about knowing that you matter to your own self. I'm going to go off point a little bit and touch on a psychological concept real quick, and hopefully I can be able to make my way back to talking about this. Okay, so do you know that, here's a psychological fact, do you know that we all have ideas of ourselves in our head? Yeah, you walk around with this mental picture of yourself, how you look, how you sound, how you seem, how you this, how you this. Another part of that is that we all have unspoken expectations of ourselves, unspoken, unwritten expectations of ourselves. They are more subconscious expectations that we have of ourselves, and we walk around with this. Sometimes you are aware of what those unspoken, unwritten expectations are. Other times you are not aware because of when you see yourself a certain way. It's like in your head you see yourself as a man. You're butch, you're tough, you have a a bold voice, and all of that stuff. Now, because you see yourself that way, you expect yourself to act a certain way. You expect yourself to be productive. You know, men are productive. Men always like to be busy all the fucking time for no just reason, and you really shouldn't be busy. Busy is actually not a good thing. Yeah, sorry, digressing a bit. But because of the way that we see ourselves in our head, there are certain expectations that we have. And sometimes when these expectations are not met, we start to develop a kind of low self-esteem that is channeled on the inside, not on the outside. It's one thing to not feel right on the outside, to not feel like you belong on the outside, to not feel like you matter on the outside. It's another thing to have that same sense, that same definition, that same opinion, to hold that same opinion of yourself. And a lot of us have that actually, because of the way we have a mental picture of ourselves in our head. The way other people see you is actually not the way you see yourself in your head. A lot of people make big deal out of keeping up with that checklist in their head. A lot of people make a big deal, make it a point of reference, a mandatory that they must be the way that they see themselves in their head. And good for them. That's crazy, but good for them. That's how crazy starts. No, good for them. But for the rest of us that are still very much human, very much imperfect, very much trying to figure our way out in life, it's important to know that you have unspoken, unwritten expectations of yourself. And when you are not able to meet up with those expectations, whether consciously or unconsciously, man, it's the worst feeling. That's why I said it's not about other people validating you, it's about you validating you. It's not about other people seeing you, it's about you seeing you. It's not about people saying you matter. No, it's about you knowing that you matter because you are able to meet up with that list, with that whether spoken or unspoken expectation of yourself. You matter to your own self. Matter to your own self because that is what creativity is about. Those expectations, right? That is what creativity is about. Creativity is wanting to be needed. Creativity is wanting to serve a purpose. Creativity is waking up with a direction. Is wanting to be useful to the world and to yourself. Is needing a relationship with lives that pulls you in. Living your own life, not living in your life. There's a very big difference between living in your life and living your own life. The first one is about restriction. It's like a box. The other one is about definition. It's defining the things that makes you come alive. And I'm not trying to sound like a motivational speaker here, but it's the truth. Creativity is the engine of life itself, and you are full of it. Kickstart that engine. Creativity is the engine of life itself. Make sure to kickstart that engine to the best of your ability, to the best of your capability. It might be a little rusty because you don't use it all the time, but creativity is the engine of life itself. Kickstart that engine and watch as excitement pumps into your life. Masturbation is nobody's issue, really. It's more about misaligned energy, misapplied energy. If you're struggling with the habit, you're not cursed. You just haven't found the right place to pour your energy into. And when you do, watch how magic happens in your life. It's crazy. Yeah, it's actually quite crazy. It's that thing that happens when you pause and you look at your entire day's activity and you look at the events in your life and you look at how meaningful your life seems, how productive you've been, that sense of fulfillment, and you look and be like, is that me? 5 years ago, I was stuck in my room, touching myself. Is this me? Wow, putting in 8 hours. Wow, creating something meaningful. being fulfilled and happy, it's a magical feeling, honestly, and there are very few words to express it. It's all about what excites you, what are you curious about, what you've always wanted to try, what makes you feel seen, what helps other people, what challenges you. As a person, as a human being, challenges are really important. I know we live in a society where everybody wants to run away from challenge. Everybody wants to, life should be easy. Yeah, life should actually be easy, but we need things that challenge us. Because only in challenge do we find growth. Okay, that's a lie actually. You can find growth in your comfort zone, but challenges serve a kind of purpose. It's coming out of the known to the unknown to see what you could become. Challenges is all about becoming more. Because you become more does not mean that when you are in a comfortable state you did not grow. Growth is not always about becoming more. Growth is simply growth. Growth does what growth does. Yeah, growth is simply growth. It's not necessarily about more or less. It's just growth. It's usually a question of sitting back, asking yourself, what's different? What direction am I heading in the direction that I really want to head into? That's basically what growth is about. It's not about the external thing on the outside that everybody and you and I can see. No, it's about, have I been productive? Am I heading in the direction of my highest desire? Did I enjoy my day? Do I love what I am doing? That is actually what growth is about, honestly. And every other thing else, the more aspect of growth is just things that are added to it. Fall in love with the process of creating. Fall in love with the process of creativity. Try as much as possible to befriend your own creative energy. Get excited about life. Try as much as possible to sit with that intensity when you are triggered, when you are overwhelmed, and befriend that feeling. And ask yourself, in what direction would I head into to apply this energy? How can I be more productive in my life? How can I channel this creative energy and really just watch as your life kickstart itself into magical directions? Honestly, it's not always about taking your life in your own hand. Yeah, I'm sorry. Stop doing that. Stop taking your life in your own hand. Life is not an experience to be ejaculated, but rather it's an experience that to be experienced. Let's put it that way. It's not about taking your life in your own hand. Life is really not an experience to be ejaculated. You're not rushing through anything. You're not rushing towards something. No. It's about being intentional in the moment and really just going through the experience. Preferably the experience that you prefer. When you cut back on the habit of masturbation, you increase the potential to create the experience that you prefer. And honestly, I pray that you figure it out, that the experience that you actually prefer are the experience of creativity, productivity, fulfillment, establishment. Those are the experiences you prefer. The experiences that you prefer are the experiences where you are heard, you are valued, you are seen, you are validated, you are needed, you are appreciated. Those are the experiences that we genuinely crave as people. One of these days, you're going to grow up and realize that that is what you truly need. You truly want to give back. You truly want to apply yourself. Because we all got gifts, talents, virtues, and we are here to experience them all.